You can't spell Aljamain without AI as well. Without further ado, gents, let us say hello to the former UFC bantamweight champion, oh yes, there he is, the liquor impresario himself, the CEO and founder of Funk Harbor, the one and only Aljamain Sterling. How are you, my man?
Good
Welcome. Please, have a seat. What is this? You brought gifts again?
Yes, I was supposed to bring the white.
Yeah, what happened?
But we left it at the gym.
Bro.
And
which gym? In New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
MMA.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Probably shouldn't have it at the gym. But,
no. This is nice. I want to get this is this in a good spot? I want to make sure. Well, let me see that shot on Aljo here. Yeah, where is it? Where should we put it? Right there. Yeah. Every time they cut to you, it'll be sitting right there. That's nice.
Good shot.
It is a nice shot. Thank you. How is that? Oh, are we drinking right now? What are we doing, Rick? Oh, we're actually, let's do it.
You know
what? This is great.
We had a big win.
Big win?
Celebration.
It's my son's bar mitzvah on Saturday.
And it's your son's bar mitzvah.
Do you know what a bar mitzvah is?
I've never been to one.
But you heard of it.
I know what it is.
What is it?
Mazel tov, everything.
Mazel tov 13. A boy becomes a man. It's apropos to drink.
Wait, 13?
13.
Boy becomes a man at 13?
In the Jewish religion, yeah.
Okay.
Look at this. Ooh, it's brand new?
Brand new bottle.
Okay.
Just for you.
Can't wait. How much are we doing? Look at that.
Oh, I won't kill you.
And I think is this a new one or what?
No, so the white one was the one you never had.
Okay.
That was the one I wanted to bring for you, but unfortunately...
Now, what's the difference between white and this?
This one's just aged.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So we say l'chaim.
L'chaim.
L'chaim, to life.
L'chaim.
Yeah. To Merab.
Big ups.
Yeah.
Big up Merab Dvalishvili.
The champ. Now, do I do it in one shot?
No.
Okay, that's great.
Don't do that.
Sip it?
Yeah, this is a nice sipper.
Oh, yeah.
So I wanted to tell you also, before we get going with everything else, the last time I was here and we actually tried this, we actually got a big contact that reached out. Really cool dude. We haven't closed on the deal yet, but just a really nice dude. He heard
because of the show.
Story. Because of the show.
Amazing.
He watches and
I love
he wants to bring us in just to help. And he said he liked our story and everything, and he liked me. And I haven't had the chance to meet him yet, but
okay,
plan to do like a nice dinner over there because that's huge. For me, obviously I'm funding this. I haven't put a ton of marketing dollars behind it to like really help with the brand awareness and exposure. It's just me posting on socials and things like that, going into these restaurants. So with that said, him helping us, if that account closes, that's a big deal.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So I get like 1% of that, or
we could talk.
Finder's fee. No, I love that.
Talk
That's
about
incredible. So how is it going? Is it tougher than you expected?
Oh yeah.
Is it?
Because I didn't realize how these guys operate. They do all this stuff with marketing dollars. You need to have the money to do these activations and things like that. Going in, doing samples and stuff. So it's a lot of work, and obviously I'm like the attraction for it, right?
Yeah.
Former world champion, 3 defenses. Like it's a big deal. So when I go in, it makes it a little bit easier, but I can't be in all these places at once. So you need reps, people that you pay, boots on the ground that go in, they do these activations, get people to try it, sample it, and help it move. This way people get familiar with the brand. Otherwise they only see it when I post it.
By the way, I appreciate the shade there, 3 defenses. That's a shot, and I should apologize because I was talking at 2 a.m. doing our post show that Merab has tied the record for most defenses. But then 7 or so minutes later, thank you to the YouTube chat, thumbs up to the chat, I was reminded it's 3. It's 3 title defenses. You still have the record. Do you know why? No excuses, late, but for some reason in my brain, like the Jan fight in a way is a defense, but it also kind of felt like a title victory because you needed to like, you know what I mean?
But of course.
But you have the record, 3. So that's my bad.
And in another weird way, my fight with Sandhagen, him and I being ranked 3 and 4 should have been the title fight.
1,000%. That should have been a vacant title fight, yes.
Yeah, but
I still never understood why they didn't do that.
Yeah, they liked Jan more. They liked Jose Aldo more, even if he was coming off of a loss. They just, whatever.
Man, what a win. Would that last like a minute 50 or something?
Yeah, like a minute 30, minute 40.
Crazy.
It was crazy because that would have been, what that would have done if that was the actual title fight? Like for my career at the time,
oh my God,
like to get a win like that in that type of fashion over the guy they think was going to be the long reigning champion.
Yes.
That would have been huge. But it is what it is. History is just funny,
Rick, everything okay?
Yeah, we're just going to swap this chair.
Okay.
This one's a little low, right?
Yeah, what is going on
I'm
with
tiny.
this
I feel like I'm shrinking.
Yeah,
I feel like you're talking down to me. I'm like your son.
I actually,
Let's get you on this one.
I have no confidence, so I'd like to like overpower my my guess, you know?
Yeah,
oh,
it's
is this
so
better?
much better. Oh, my
okay,
God.
yeah. What are we
felt
trying to make
tiny.
Aljo look bad here or what? Oh, yeah, move the
Yeah.
mic too, yeah. Just to get it closer to your mouth. Yeah, there we go. How are we looking now?
Yeah, I felt super tiny. This is a lot nicer.
This is better, yeah. It did seem off. I
on
thought
your
maybe it
level
was
now,
the alcohol just making you sink in your... your hair looks fantastic, by the way.
I think I actually cut it this morning.
Oh, yeah.
I do it myself.
You do it yourself?
Yeah.
Not the braids,
No, not the braids. Definitely.
just the cut.
Yeah, the cut.
How long does the braid take?
Like an hour.
Okay. Who does that?
So I did the ESPN morning show for 316, and the UFC covered it because they told me last minute. I'm like, dude, I had these braids in. It's gonna look like shit. I don't want to wear a fro, and they were able to take care of it. So,
Oh, yeah. The weigh-in show.
yeah.
That's a fun show.
Well, not the weigh-in show. They call it the morning show.
Okay.
It's like playing some games and stuff with Frankie Edgar, DC.
Oh, yeah.
Laura
So,
Sanko,
but it is
Ellie.
during the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
Laura Sanko.
Well, after.
Okay, there's all kinds of weird stuff that goes on that show.
They do a lot of activities.
Yes.
It's a little different.
It is a little different, but I
Sometimes
like
on
it.
Hinge.
I think it's like a different, like you get to let your hair down. You get to have fun a little bit.
I was gonna say it's fun. I wore a suit. I'm like, if I knew we were gonna be doing all this, I would not have wore a suit today.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. It was fun though.
So, all right, so you were there, front and... By the way, is everything okay?
No, I'm just smelling it. You know?
You liked it? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Yeah, you just enjoy it a little bit.
You ever put it in... I was talking about putting it in like a daiquiri or a pina colada. Would you recommend that?
Yeah, but I would use the white for that. You could do this one with like an old-fashioned espresso martini.
Ah, yes.
You're gonna be like, I don't think I could drink a regular espresso martini ever again. Because it's just such a nice thing. No additives, no preservatives, no food color. So it's like, it's just clean, tastes nice. You can get hammered on this, wake up the next day and won't feel, unless you stay up really late,
Yeah.
you won't feel like you got hit by, you won't feel like shit.
Okay, that's a great selling point. Did you see the scenes earlier today in Georgia for Merab?
I saw some of it with him on the truck. I was
Yo.
like, this guy is the president.
The
Absolutely,
freaking
he's
man.
the president over there right now.
Some of those scenes are amazing, like him coming into the him coming into the airport. Look at this, man.
Oh my. And I went with him, I think, in 2021. And
Yeah.
to see it now, I'm like, bro, I could only imagine what that's going to look like. Why don't we do that here in the States?
Yeah, why? There's so many stars that you guys kind of get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
And then you have someone on a world stage doing this. Like, this is just him. These are people waiting for him at the gate in Georgia.
Man, that's unreal. Like, this is what you dream of and what you think it would be
Look
to
at
become
this.
a champion.
This is outside the airport. Look at this. That's your boy.
Yeah, that's... He's the best, man. I wish I was there. I really wish I was
Were you supposed to go?
Yeah, well, they told me last minute, and I already committed to one of my good friends' wedding. So it's this Saturday. I'm like, what am I going to do? Go for 2 days and fly back? It's just going to be a lot.
They're on the freaking bus. John Wood is up there signing autographs.
That's, man,
Look at that.
what a life. What a
My
life.
favorite
Look
is
at
the
this guy
horse. The
smiling
horse
at
by
you.
the bus is the best.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? Like, we had him on the show on Monday, and he's sitting in his car on Long Island, and there's people walking their dog, and I'm like, these people probably don't know that one of the best fighters in the world is just sitting there. Like, I don't know if he could go to like a local bagel shop on Long Island, and if anyone bothers him, and then he comes there,
Yeah.
and he's like the Pope.
Yeah, it's night and day. It's insane. But that's why it's always nice. Like, if you become a champion, you represent another country, or you're from another country, I should say. They treat it a little bit differently than how we do here. Like you said, we have so much sports and different things that people are into, so it's a little bit harder. But it's like if LeBron were to walk down the street, like, he's going to get harassed,
Right.
you know, because people, that's what we do. We look at those type of sports more than we do for MMA, but it's growing. And the fight fans in the States, like last night I went to Johnny McGorry's, and they carry my rum. So, you know, I go there from time to time, and we're just talking shop because we got an event this weekend at Eisenhower Park. It's my first sponsored event that I'm doing where I'm like spending my actual money. So I'm like, okay, I want to make sure this goes right.
Where is that? Eisenhower Park?
Eisenhower Park in Long Island.
Okay.
It's right across.
Which day?
I'll be there Friday night doing like a little meet and greet, and then we're also going to be there Saturday. I got the wedding, so I won't be there. And then I'm going to try to come in on, and I think Warren G's supposed to perform, so it's going to be cool.
Warren G.
Yeah.
My favorite rapper of
One
all
of those-
time.
no, it's
Regulate. I swear.
Regulated.
Regulated,
Yeah.
mount up. It was a clear back night, a clear white moon. Warren G was on the streets trying to consume some skirts for the eve so I could get some fuck. Legit, love Warren G.
Okay, yeah.
And Nate
it's gonna
Dogg.
be sick.
Yeah.
And then Sunday I'm going to try to pop back out. But yeah, I went to McGorry's, and they just some of the guys just came in from the Mets game, and I didn't realize how many of them were fight fans. When they saw me and they like did a double take, they're like, "Wait, holy shit, what?" I'm like, "This is crazy," but it's not on the level of like that with Merab. Like that's super stardom. Like you can't walk, and he can't walk anywhere over there without people knowing that it's him.
Do you get the sense? Like I don't get the sense, but you obviously know him. He's one of your best friends. He's the same dude. Like his head
100%.
hasn't grown. He doesn't like think he's better than anyone. He hasn't turned into a superstar, right? Like has he changed at all?
Not at all. Still the guy that would help out anybody. Still helps out a lot of his like countrymen that come over to Vegas that want to train. Like gets them in the gym or he puts them up in his house. And he's the only person I know that will take a stranger. Like, yeah, he's from his country, but would take a stranger if he thinks that they're a good person, would just put them in the house without actually doing like a thorough background check to know what you're going to be dealing with. And I think that's very commendable because not a lot of people would do that, especially here in the States. That's just not something we do. So it's very nice. He's just a great dude all around and somebody that would take his shirt off his back and give it to you.
There you are. There's the crew. I loved seeing Al there.
Yeah, him and Wyman. I saw him on the walkout. I ran right over to him. I was like, "What's up, boy?"
It was great to see you guys together.
It's always nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wyman is looking jacked.
Look at him. Yeah, retired Weidman. A father of 4 Weidman.
Yeah.
It's a different, it's a whole different look. You and Merab, you're literally neighbors in Vegas?
Yeah.
Like how many houses down?
So we're like on like an L. So I'm like at the end. And then he's probably, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses maybe.
Was that on purpose?
No, but it ended up just working out because the house he was looking at, he showed it to me. And then I started laughing. I go, "Brother, I was just looking at that house to possibly buy for myself and then move into that one and then rent this one to like all our training partners that come from New York."
Yeah.
And it's this way I could like have something that's a little bit more for just me and my fiance, right? So he showed me that. I was just like, back off. Like, this is all you. I thought it would just be cool, right?
Yeah, of course.
You get a house right here. I'm like, this is the most safe and dangerous neighborhood all at the same time.
That is true. Do you train together like in the neighborhood and stuff like that? Do you say like, "Hey, yo, I'm going for a run. You want to come?" Is it like that?
I mean, once in a while we'll do like Exploration Peak because it's not too far from my house. It's like 10, 15 minutes. We'll drive.
What's
over.
that?
It's just a small peak. We could just run up. It's got a trail. It's got a park.
Okay.
And we'll just run some sprints up the mountain, and we'll do that. It's not like a crazy big mountain like the Red Rocks, but it's good enough to get the job done. You get the elevation when you're running, or should I say the incline. And I mean, other than that, we train, like if I go to train in his garage or he comes to mine, or we'll go to Syndicate, or we go to the PI. It's usually like that.
Do you think you'll ever come back to the East Coast to live?
Man, the quality of life over there is so good. And I don't know if it's because of what I do for work right now. So I guess there's a conversation to be had once I'm fully retired. And then I could be like, you know what? I'm completely done with fighting unless I'm coaching.
Right.
Maybe there's an opportunity. But for right now, if I did go back to the East Coast, I would probably, I made enough money where I can maybe just go to Florida. Like, I don't have to work again. This is just like a hobby and something I actually legitimately enjoy doing. I mean, I drink in training camp. I don't get bombs because I don't want people getting the wrong idea and messaging.
What's the appropriate amount?
I'll have like 1 or 2. Like if
day?
If I'm in fight camp.
Yeah, if you're in fight camp.
And I'll go clean. Like I'm trying to get in shape. Once I'm in shape and I have like a good sparring, like I had a really good week, and then the next week maybe I hit the pinnacle of where like, okay, I could crush 3 5s or 5 5s, no problem. I'm like, I've earned a drink or 2. And it's usually in my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a point like a week before I won't do it or 2 weeks before I won't do it?
No. I drink all the way up to the fight. And then again, it's 1, 2 drinks.
Yeah.
Like if you lose the fight because of 1 or 2 drinks, that's not, you probably were going to lose the fight anyway, right? But usually after the weigh-ins, we go like do a team dinner. If I get to, like now that I have this, I'll bring this and we'll just do like an open cork fee and I'll have like a shot on the rocks, just nice and easy, and just puts me to sleep. And I've been doing that for years now at this point, and it's always made me feel good. I sleep better, and I don't know. It's just like I said, it's something I enjoy. But in terms of working and coming back to the East Coast, I don't necessarily need to work, but you got to have something that you're doing, right? Otherwise, what's the point of even living? It's like you're gonna just chill all day. There's no fun in that. Like I always want to have something that I'm working towards, and this has been a fun ride. So coming back, maybe I just go to like Florida or something. Maybe. I don't know. Right now, I like Vegas. Vegas is a great time. I don't
If you're a
gamble.
UFC fighter, it's perfect though, right? You have the PI there.
Yeah, and I don't gamble. So that's the main thing. I was worried about that because I did have a bad gambling problem when I was in college as a freshman. I spent a lot of money, Ariel,
Really?
with my refund checks.
On what?
What to play? Sick bowl,
Okay.
roulette, blackjack.
So games, not sports.
Not sports. I was
Okay.
never good at sports betting because what are you betting on? Like emotions of an athlete? Like the cards don't have emotions. You know what I mean? The dice don't have emotions. Like there's so many different variables when it comes to betting on sports. Someone could have an off day. They may be arguing with their wife or something crazy. Like you just never know. Like for you to bet on that just on the stats alone, I'm like, well, sometimes the stats don't actually give you the whole picture of what people are going through going into a game or a fight.
So why'd you stop?
I lost a lot of money, my refund check money.
Wow.
And,
Like what's a lot for a college student?
Probably like $3-4 grand.
Damn.
And that was like my money for the semester. So
Oh no.
I maxed out on my refund check. So being that we had so many siblings, we were able to get the max capacity for FAFSA and Pell, the Pell Grant and all the other stuff. So my residual was like, this is what I got to use to budget for food and everything. Cause I wasn't asking my parents for money and whatnot. I already knew it was hard back home, right? So yeah, once I realized like, I'm gonna have to pay this back. Two, I'm about to be broke.
Oh.
And that's when I started cutting hair for money. And yeah, it was just,
I didn't know you cut hair.
yeah, I used to cut hair for money in high school and college. And then I just kept cutting my own. It's just saves me. It's a pain in the ass sometimes because like to wake up in the morning, I have to go set everything up and clean up. Yeah, it's a little.
It's so hard. How do you get it like all perfect here on the sides and stuff like that? Mirrors?
Yeah, that's like a little 3-sided mirror.
Oh, you have one.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the whole setup.
Yeah,
Are you sitting in a chair with like a thing and all that? No.
I'm cutting hair, leaving hair drops all over the floor.
No, your fiance probably hates
She
that.
hates it. She'll clean the bathroom, and then I'm coming in there. She's like, "Why do you have to cut your hair in here?" I'm like, "Well, where else you want me to cut it? Because no matter where I cut it,
What if you do it in the shower, and then it's like a confined space?
I never thought about that, but also I don't think the rack will hang over.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll start swinging.
Okay.
Just because of the weight, right? So yeah, with the door, you could just put over the door. The door supports it.
Got it.
Makes it
Oh
easier.
man. Yeah, it's a bitch to clean up that stuff.
Yeah, but
When's the wedding, by the way?
October.
October. Is it in fact true that Merab is going to give you half of his performance bonus? What was that all about?
I think he was just saying that cheek and tongue. I don't think he was actually.
That's a nice little gift right there.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
But I don't expect him to do that. I do a lot for him. He does a lot for me. It's just like we just take care of each other, So even like in the beginning when he wasn't making as much money, and I think I had just fought Sandhagen, and he was cornering me and everything, and helping me with the training camp. I tried to give him money. I think one time I tried to give him like $5 or $10 grand, and he was just like, "No, brother, no, brother." And he's like, "Why you do this? This is crazy, bro. I just want to help." I'm like, "Yeah, but your time is worth something. Like, look at it as like a gift from me to go do whatever you want to do. Like, yeah, I don't have to do it, but I'm doing it because you're my boy. You hooked me up, and you're my training partner. I want to keep my training partners happy. And what's the best way to do that? You buy them stuff, or you give them money, gives them an incentive to want to show up to those training sessions and help push you, right? Same thing for me. Like, I'm not asking for money. I don't need it. I'm pretty well set. But I know these younger guys like Dennis. I know a lot of these other guys, Pumi. I've worked with like Timmy or Julian or some of these other guys. I just break them off something like $1,000 or something here or there just for being a part of the camp. Because at the end of the day, like, they're more important than the coaches to a certain extent. And for me, most of my training sessions are with my training partners. So these guys give me the best looks that I can get to help me prepare to go to these fights. And the same thing is like, I'm in there with him, so I understand some of the stuff that he could do better or what's working, and I can articulate that to him where he can understand and make those improvements in real time. So it's always nice to see and just help out where I can help out.
So he was talking in the post-fight presser as well that like he said, "Oh, thank you to Aljo for all the sparring sessions. Aljo doesn't really like to spar, but for me, he did." Is that a true thing? Like, do you not like to spar anymore?
Yeah, I only like sparring when I'm in camp.
Okay.
And really because when people spar, and you see this in every single gym, people just want to take your heads off. Like there's no rhyme or reason with the sparring. It's just, I know I fought hard today and that's it. It's like, well, this isn't a fight. It's a training session. And until you get training partners that can understand that, then it makes it, I'm less likely to want to just go sparring hard. For what reason? To get a headache and go home like, oh, I did really good. Now I'm home with this headache. Like that was cool.
Yeah.
Let's do it again in 2 days. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. And I find you make the most improvements, like similar to like the Thai fighters. They like play spar all the time. It's playful, it's controlled. You get to work things out in real time. If I hit you with a jab, I could throw you that same jab and have you like react to it differently. I could throw it slow, I could throw it fast, and now you're reacting in different ways. And now you're actually getting practical feedback in real time versus I'm just looking to hit you with a big 1-2. Maybe I stuck you with a jab, and I'm coming back with a big 1-2, and maybe I fake the jab, I come with a big hook and a cross down the middle. Like, okay, I cleaned your clock, but then what did I get out of that? What did you get out of that? Maybe my ego, but in terms of getting better, it's like, okay, you landed a good shot on someone who might not have thought it was going to be going like that. And if you're both going like that, then it's like, well, what did you actually work on for the training session? I go spar, I'm having something in mind that I'm working on, whether it's my defense, I'm trying to work my output, I'm trying to work on my setups, my takedowns. Okay, the double legs weren't working the last sparring session. Now this session, I want to work on my singles. Because this is the transition. Okay, if I go double leg, how do I do better than what I was doing last week where I kept getting stopped and every time I shot the double, they kept getting the underhook and picking it up and stopping my takedown. So you have to have something that you're working for. And this is like when I was coaching a lot back in Long Island, and even the little bit that I coach in Vegas, I try to just share the knowledge that I've learned that helped me accelerate my growth as fast as I could. And just share the same practices and beliefs that I have. And you see the guys that is starting to click with, and you see the guys who kind of want to still do things their own way, which is fine. I'm not, like, MMA is the beauty of this sport is you could do anything, anyhow, any old way. It could be the most bizarre technique. See Exhibit A with DDP.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And he makes it work. As long as he connects, he makes it work, right? So I'm not going to tell you that doesn't work, but there could be more efficient ways to do things, and that's just what it comes down to.
When this fight was announced, when you knew that Merab was going to fight Sean, how did you think it was going to play out versus how it actually played out? What were you thinking about the matchup? Second time, they fought back in September. Sean didn't get another fight in. Merab active, right? He won in January, looked great. What did you think was going to happen?
I don't know. My honest thoughts, I thought it was a stupid fight. I was like, for him to sit and wait, not have to fight anybody, it gives him a good opportunity, right? Because he was just in there, kind of still fresh, didn't have like the mix up with another feeling with fighting somebody else and preparing for somebody else. I was like, this could be, I don't want to say a trap, but more in his favor.
When you say his,
Sean's favor.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, Merab is Merab, and I like even sparring with him and trying to give him the same exact looks and everything, and trying to imitate Sean as best as I could. I just told him, I was like, dude, like, yeah, I might be landing some punches here and there, and yeah, with 4-ounce gloves, it might be worse in terms of the damage that's actually done. I was like, but if you're doing this the way that you're doing it and you keep improving every week, I don't see how this guy even keeps up with you. It's just going to be really, really hard. And we had some tidbits of some things that John and I were talking about, John Wood, with some of the scenarios. Like, the way Sean came out for this rematch was literally the same way I came out for literally all the sparring sessions. And I didn't even know. I was like, this is probably what I'm thinking he's going to do. If I'm O'Malley, what is my plan of attack coming out for round one? And then if it come out like that, then what do I do for round two? And being able to give him those same looks, like just trying to dive into your opponent's mind and replicate that. You see that 100 times, you're going to see that in the fight, and you're going to laugh. It's going to be like, this is slow motion. And that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like Sean was in one gear and Merab was in another.
Did you think Sean had improved? Did you think that he was a better version of the guy that we saw in September?
Respectfully, I didn't see anything that was significantly different. The only thing I could honestly look at was say maybe he was more bouncy on his feet in round one, like hopping around side to side. Maybe that was the whole thing he was talking about with his hip. But honestly, it didn't make a difference. And I told Merab, I was like, dude, I think I have pretty decent cardio. And if I'm bouncing around and faking like this and I'm missing and not able to slow you down with any type of damage, and I'm obviously not wrestling him, you see what is happening to me. it's gonna happen to him. I'm telling you from experience. Like, no one could humanly possibly, like, it's not possible to fake that many times, hard fakes, and then look to throw shots and then react, control the breathing all at the same time, and react to your opponent's movements and their feints, and be able to keep up that pace the whole time. And that was pretty much what I told him. I was like, I don't want to be unfair to him, but I don't think that version of him looked better than the first one. I felt like the first one, he looked better, in my opinion.
Takedown defense, did that surprise you at all?
I mean, he stopped some takedowns in the first fight too.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like you stop the takedown, but then what? He's going to keep shooting. He's going to keep shooting again and again. So, yeah, you stop one takedown. You want a biscuit? Like, can you stop at the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth? And then after that, have you done anything offensive to actually win the rounds? And when you break it down like that, he's a enigma to try to figure out in Merab.
Obviously, hindsight 2020, but did you think it was a mistake to not fight someone else in between the two fights? Or, like, if you're going to get the immediate title shot, just take it?
I think it would be naive to not take it, but I think it would have been better for him and his mental to go out there, beat somebody up, and then come back and say, I'm back, baby. Like, I'm back, bitches.
Yeah.
After he just whooped someone else's ass, right? Just to get that confidence again. Like, I think there's a ridiculous stat with UFC champions when they lose. There's like a crazy stat, like automatic rematches, they don't win.
Yep.
Like the percentage is extremely low. And I can't remember who's actually done that going into an immediate rematch, like right back to back. So with that said, I think he would have been better served. In hindsight, hindsight's always 2020. The championship challenger pay is always different from going back to your regular contractual pay. So there's probably a lot more riding for him in that. But now he's in a weird spot. And, you know, if I had any words of advice that I could give him, it's just like, it's going to be dark. It's going to be cloudy. It's going to be rainy. This is like the low, right? This is the lows of low. You lost 2 fights in a row. Now you haven't won a fight since May of last year, or what was that, May or March?
March.
In Miami.
Yeah.
But the one thing to keep in perspective is time will pass and the clouds will pass as well. And eventually you just got to get back on the horse. And this is what's going to let his fans know and himself, like, can he prove to himself that he can get back up and do it again? Or will he let this kind of define him and kind of just go on a downhill trend from here? So I've been there. I've lost my first 2 pro fights back to back in the UFC on my brand new contract after that whole controversy with trying to get a little bit of a bigger pay. And that didn't bode well for me, right? If I lost my next one to his coach, to Quino Mendes, if I had lost him, I was probably getting cut. So with that said, like, I understand the adversity part and feeling like maybe you're not good enough. But obviously he became a champ, albeit some weird circumstances. But, you know, he still became a champ. It's not easy, but it's what you do after that. And it's going to show his true colors and what his character is really made of if he can actually bounce back. And that's, again, I don't hate O'Malley. I don't have any dislike towards him. I mean, if he wants a bottle of Funk Harbor, send me an address. I'll send one to him and Tim Welch. The only thing I didn't like about him was parading around acting as if he didn't stack the deck against me and took a favorable position and was acting like he beat the best version of Aljamain Sterling, which him and I both know. If you look at all my performances, even the performance after that with Cater, Mosar, like, if you're going to tell me that guy was the same guy that fought him, who completely was in a bad headspace and didn't even want to be in the octagon that night, then I don't know what to tell you. You don't know what you're looking at.
Did it annoy you that he got the immediate rematch and you didn't?
I mean, I would be lying if I said it didn't.
When you first found out, you were like, damn.
I mean, it's whatever, man. It is what it is. It definitely is one of those things, but, you know, I'm not the cup of tea where they want to put right back into it. Obviously, my style is my style. So I get it in a business standpoint, but at the end of the day, it's like you can't be envious of what other people get. You know, what he eats doesn't make me shit. So happy for him. He got it. I didn't. I had to work my ass off. And that's the one thing no one could ever say about my career is I've never been handed anything. I've taken a long road just like Merab had to take the long road. And we both cashed out and made the best of it. And I think that's the beauty of our story is 2 guys from the same area pretty much grew up training with each other. And both of us had some bumps and bruises along the way. And we both managed to make it to the top and just reap all the benefits of being a champ.
I do get the impression, like, let's say, God forbid, Merab stumbles in his next fight. I don't think he's getting an immediate rematch against whomever that is. Like there's basically some guys who get that and some who don't. Bilal ain't getting an immediate rematch, and I know he didn't successfully defend, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leon's not getting an immediate rematch. I just feel like for whatever reason there's guys that they like, there's guys that they don't like, and if they like you, they'll give you an immediate rematch.
Yeah.
Like you deserved one, just based on if you have X amount of defenses, I think you deserve it, right?
Yeah, because even if I had won that fight with Sean, Dana said it at the press conference that he would allow me to go up to 145 and challenge Volk at the time. So it was just kind of crazy to go from that to like just, yeah, we're not going to do that. I was just like, this is why I asked for a rematch clause, because then even if I lost, I could make peace with it and be like, all right, now I can finally take my vacation and I could recoup, clear my head, get back into the fight game and wanting to be back in the cage. And
they never do rematch clauses, unfortunately. I don't know.
Yeah.
Has anyone got one in MMA, in the UFC? I know it's a big thing in boxing.
I mean, O'Malley might have gotten one with the Merab fight. So
I don't know if he needed that one on paper. And by the way, I had no problem with him getting the title fight because I didn't think that he leapfrogged anyone. I didn't think there was anyone who was more deserving.
Yeah.
Right? There was no one.
Yeah, because Merab cleaned out the whole division.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing. It took him so long to get to a title fight, but in doing so, he beat a lot of the guys on the way.
Yeah. And that's the same thing that's happening right now at 145 with Mosar. If he doesn't get the next title shot and he fights another contender, like say he fights Pico. Pico is this, wow, oh my God, he's got great wrestling, great boxing. He comes in and he loses to Mosar. Then what the hell do you do with Pico?
Right.
You just gave Mosar another contender to kill
You've got
off.
to give him a title shot then, no?
I'm like, give him the title shot.
He deserves it already.
He deserved it a fight ago instead of Diego Lopez.
You and
That's
Diego were going back and forth about all this.
Yeah, it was just stupid. He made it seem like I was like talking shit about him. I was like, bro, I'm only saying what I think, and I think what I'm saying is very, very valid. You could say you had more fights and you've been more active, cool. But at the end of the day, he did beat you, and it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
And he's only continued to win. Why should he not get the title shot? But whatever. But I just think when you kill off the contender, I think Volkanovski is really good where his grappling, obviously in the Islam fight, for people to say that it's going to be a boring fight, it's going to be a great fight. The Islam Volkanovski fight was a great fight, the first one. I don't see how this one wouldn't be anything similar to that. And two of the most deserving guys at the weight class, right? And then you give other guys an opportunity to build up their resume so you can build up another contender versus knocking off another prospect, another contender. It's like, well, that only hurts in the long run. Like right now, it's like stepping over the dollar to pick up pennies. Like I don't understand it. Obviously, it's not my business. I don't run the metrics and know the numbers. So maybe they're seeing something or have insight on something we don't know, or maybe it's just a quick, this is the money fight to make right now. So let's just take advantage of it while it's hot, right? So that could also be it.
If you were Sean, would you move up to 45 now?
I don't know his situation. Like for me, making 35 was daunting. I mean, I was making weight and then blowing up to 180 pounds.
Jeez. And
to get back down and have to do that again on 2.5, 3 months notice after coming out of a 5-round battle with Henry Cejudo is like, that's not an easy thing to do. But it is what it is. You think that you're going to take some time off and recover. And then, like I said, it's not being in the right headspace to fight for anybody. If you're not in there to fight or you don't want to be in the octagons, it's the worst place to go in there second guessing if you want to be in there or not. But so for him, it depends on his weight cut. I don't know if there's still some fun fights for him at 35. But if he's struggling that badly to make 35, then maybe it's time to go up. But I don't think it seems like he's fine at the weight class.
Yeah.
But if he does come up,
I saw you tweet about that.
I'm here.
What a story, by the way, that would be.
Yeah, it would be fun because there's obviously, like you said, a storyline. And now people will get to see what a motivated Sterling would look like and what he would have done in the first fight had I been giving time. And I even asked him to push the fight back. Like, can we just push it back to September or October just to give me a little bit more time so I could get the weight down, recover first so I could do a whole proper camp versus just jumping in when my legs are beat to shit and I had to do all this rehab for all these other stuff. I'm like, but the people don't see that. They only see the performance, and then if you say something about it, you're the asshole. Yeah. You're making excuses. And then when O'Malley fought Merab the first time, is my hip with the lights and all this other weird shit. I'm just like, how come he's not getting the same backlash that I got? It's very bizarre.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. Only the fans can answer that. Yeah. Like, I think I get an unfair shake because of the whole DQ knee thing, and I don't know if that's right or wrong.
You don't think that's behind you now?
I would think.
Do you feel like it's not?
I don't know,
Do you
because
still sense it?
even that same scenario that we're talking about is like, well, why is it okay for him to say, I needed surgery, I only had one hip? But then it's like, but I just fought, I had to go do a crazy ass diet all over again, and I came in there injured. And then their rebuttals, well, he had broken ribs. I'm like, if he had broken ribs, he wouldn't be able to breathe. Are you fucking stupid? He wouldn't be able to fight if he had legitimately broken ribs coming into the fight. No. But it is what it is. Again, fair play to him. He took advantage of a situation, and that's why sports are sports, right? Because you don't know what's happening with the other team, the injuries or the backstory. So sometimes you win, and that's just what it is. And unfortunately, it wasn't my night. It was his night, so fair play to him. And again, if he wants to come up to 45, I'll be more than happy to welcome him. But it really depends. I don't think he should come up unless he feels there's no reason for him to stick around at 35.
Other than the title shot, which is obviously the ultimate, is that your most desired fight before it's all said and done?
Nah, I don't really give a shit about it.
You don't long for it?
Nah, like I would hang out with the guy. Like it's like I don't have like a vendetta. Like I need to get this guy back.
Okay.
Like I'm satisfied by seeing Merab do to him what I should have done.
Okay.
And that
says a lot about you.
That's satisfying in itself, because Merab knows, he said it in multiple interviews, like it's not always the better fighter that wins. And I'm pretty sure O'Malley, even when I asked for the rematch publicly with the little thing at the fights, and he was just like, no, because he knows. Because if he felt confident where it's like, oh, I'll beat his ass again, he would have taken it. But when you get an advantage and you capitalize on it, it's just like, well, I don't know if I'm going to get that lucky again. And I respect it. I understand. It's like someone who plays basketball with you, they beat you in a game, and then you ask for a rematch, and they're just like, nah, I'm going home right now. My mom's cooking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
so does it hit different on Saturday when you see him get submitted because of the history between you two?
Not because he lost. I was just more happy about the performance.
Okay.
Because, again, to go through that whole training camp with Merab, having to spar that often with him and have to deal with that, I couldn't use my wrestling, only defensively. So for me to have to go through that and then see all the good things that he was doing, and then for him to put it into practicality and the real time and watch it, I'm just like, damn, this guy is just freaking good. So to see that, that made me happy in itself. It wasn't really, I always tell these guys when I was coaching in Long Island, when we were still living back home, and I would preach to the guys, it's not about the wins and the losses, it's about the performance. And if you had a good performance, and if you're doing things that you do well in here, I would imagine that you should have a good night in the cage as well. And if that happens, then that's more than enough to be able to get your hand raised. And if it's not, as long as the performance was good, like who wants to win? And they made a ton of mistakes. Then it's like all these other guys are watching them. They're like, damn, this guy was, I don't know. I can't wait to fight that guy. Now I'm calling him out. So it's always been about the performance. And obviously for him closing the chapter on it for good, now no one can say anything whatsoever. That's nice. It's nice to see.
How do you think Corey does against Merab?
I think better than O'Malley.
Okay.
And hear me out on this. Sandhagen is actually a solid grappler. He's not a good defensive grappler like wrestling-wise, but he's got good scramble ability. He's been working with Ryan Hall a lot, so he has a lot of that leg lock game on point now. Even though he hasn't shown too much of it, but even with the Figueiredo fight, just moving Figueiredo, he moves well in those positions, and usually those are the positions that are very dangerous where you could get caught, especially if a guy has any clue what he's doing with the leg attacks. And he did a really good job with Umar, being able to get back up, roll, hit his Granby rolls, get back up, attack the legs, get back to his feet. The difference is all that requires a lot of energy. So if you constantly get taken down and you're just constantly rolling around, I think he's going to get tired, just like everybody else, and Merab will get another title defense. That's the way I see that fight playing out. But other than that, I think it's a great matchup stylistically because Corey's still very dynamic with his attacks. He's got the flying knees. He's got all the leg kicks, the front kicks, the shifting stances. So he's a tough puzzle. But Merab, like everybody else, he manages somehow to get to the leg, then get to that body lock, drags you down, and then he's just beating on you for 25 minutes or less.
Is that the one that you think makes, like they sort of said it is, but it's not 100%? Do you think he's the most deserving to fight Merab?
The most deserving, I mean, I know Jan's got to fight.
Yeah.
But there's really nobody else that he hasn't fought yet. So if you want some new blood, I think Sandhagen is the most fun matchup that you could possibly make right now.
A lot of people want to see Pantoja versus Merab. Pantoja moving up from 125.
Yeah, speaking of Pantoja, you babysitting over there, brother.
What?
You babysitting.
My bad. What is it? By the way, what does that have to do with Pantoja? What does that? Does he babysit people?
No.
Is that what it's called? Babysitting?
Yeah, it's like you get a drink, but
okay, sorry, my bad.
But with Pantoja, I think that's a great fight as well. I don't know if Pantoja needs to take that fight. I don't know if Merab needs to take that fight. But if you want something compelling,
people are looking for something. But I kind of feel like I like long dominant champions.
Me too.
Let's see if they could get 7 in a row, 8 in a row, like DJ back in the day, like Anderson. I know Anderson took a couple of 205. GSP, John.
I think those are the most sensible things to do. Is like, why am I going to go up in weight and have a harder time in a division that this guy is doing really, really well in? Like,
and then you lose a little bit of your aura if you lose, even if you go back down, right?
It's not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
By the way, what's up with your boy John? Can we talk about this?
What do you want?
What's going on with your boy John?
What are we talking about?
What's happening here? You've known him for a long time. What's going on with John? What's happening here?
He's living his best life.
Yeah, okay, so just give up the belt.
I honestly
stop stopping others from living out their dreams.
Yeah.
You all have dreams, right?
You know, but the thing with the belt situation with that is, even though John has the belt, the official belt, I don't think it makes a difference to discredit Tom Aspinall. Because if Aspinall's willing to fight and he's defending, that's as good for me to be the undisputed champion versus John, who's only fighting ever so often. So
you mean like defending the interim title?
Yeah.
Nah, everyone wants that, right?
I hear you. But what I'm saying is because John isn't fighting often, Aspinall's defending, it's, in my mind, the way I look at it, like, this is just a title. Like, you just have a title versus what I'm actually doing. I'm doing the stuff that you're supposed to do. So when you actually want to come back, now this is the way, if I'm Aspinall, this is how I'm spinning it.
Okay.
When you come back and you want to fight, whenever that is, if you do, you're fighting the champ. You know, because
you get paid a little different.
They both get paid the same.
Interim, undisputed, it's a little different.
I was told, contractually, the interims get paid the same thing, but Jon Jones is different, so his payouts are probably different. Of
course.
But having the belt versus being an interim champ, you still get pay-per-view points.
Sure.
So that's technically the same.
But like, okay, first of all, if he beats John, his stock goes up, right?
Oh, of course.
He's now if he doesn't get to fight John, if John just doesn't want to fight him for whatever reason, wouldn't the right thing to do, especially for someone who, to his point, doesn't need the belt? Jon Jones doesn't need a title. Yeah. There's a few guys out there, John, Connor, that might be it, that just don't need a belt, and they're huge draws and they can headline pay-per-views. Give up the title. Let this guy live out his dreams. And if you want to come back, great. Or if you want to have fun fights, if you want to fight Stipe again, just fight those fights. But the heavyweight champion of the world or the champion of any division, there's like it's part of the rule is like, you got to fight the top guy, right?
Fight Stipe again is hilarious.
I mean, it's crazy. That fight made no sense back then. It definitely wouldn't make sense. He's campaigning for Francis, knowing that it's not going to happen, A. And B, the guy's like 7 years older than Tom. Like, everyone wants the Tom fight. What are we doing here?
Yeah, no, I hear you. But also, again, it's like if John decides to retire, it's like sitting around and waiting for him doesn't even make any sense. Like, I'm going to continue to defend my belt. And I think the fans, the true fans that understand the scenario and the runaround that's going on are going to look at Tom and recognize him as the undisputed champ. And when John does decide to come back, whether he vacates the belt or not, that door is always going to be there. So if he does decide to come back and say, hey, I want to fight you now, okay, cool. It's still going to be the same thing versus if he keeps the belt and Tom keeps fighting. Like if Tom keeps the belt.
There's prestige, no?
No, there's prestige. But
like Dustin Poirier, interim champ, never got the undisputed. Is it the same? If you were just the interim champ, would you feel the same?
But then he had a chance to unify.
He did, and he lost. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, if Tom's just going around defending his interim title, it doesn't feel the same. You're not viewed in the same light. Your legacy isn't the same.
But again, I guess maybe, I don't know if I'm explaining this right. If John is not going to fight and he's playing this game of I'm retired or I'm living my best life, I don't need the belt. Okay, John is here.
Yeah.
Aspinall's here and he's competing and he's being active.
Yeah.
I'm going to recognize Tom as the champ versus this guy over here who's not really giving this his all at the moment or any attention or any love. Because at any moment, even if John vacates, he could come back and Aspinall could be the undisputed champ. And he could still lose to Jon. And guess what people are going to say? He was always the paper champ.
Okay, but while he's living his best life, why doesn't he give up the belt?
But that's what I'm saying. Even if he gives up the belt.
But if give up the damn belt, that's how it works.
No, okay, Jon gives up the belt.
Yes.
He comes back and he beats Tom.
Okay. Fair play.
Then it's the same thing. Versus if he holds the belt.
But clearly right now he doesn't want to fight him, right?
Yeah.
So just let the guy fight for the undisputed belt. I'm not even saying, by the way, that they should hand Tom the belt. Just next fight, it's Tom versus Cyril Gane, let's just say.
Undisputed belt.
Just make it for the vacant title. Now, usually the
I'm going to say it wouldn't be vacant. It would be.
Well, like I'm just saying, I'm not even saying gift Tom the belt. Let him earn it. If you don't want to give it to him. Now, historically, the interim. Okay, I would love that. I think that makes the most sense. But I'm just trying to say, like, I don't think anyone should be handed anything. I don't like the idea of I'm living my best life. Look at me. I get it, dude. You have nothing left to prove. You've done it all.
My man's in Thailand right now, right?
Let someone else live their best life. You're literally stopping someone else from living their best life.
Yeah,
that's my point.
I get it. But
I think you understand, and I appreciate the fact that you're friends with him. So you don't.
No, I'm not
trying to put you in a tough spot.
It's not even to try to like protect Jon or anything like that. It's more, I guess, because I'm so involved in the sport that I can look at it and decipher. I'm like, well, this guy's playing games. So to me, right now, this is the actual champ. Until he actually decides to come back and wants to fight, then he's fighting to unify the belts whenever he decides to see fit. I can separate that and look at Tom and say, Tom is the actual champ right now. And people can go and say, well, it's really Jon Jones. I'm like, well, Jon Jones isn't fighting.
Yeah.
So guess what? Until he actually comes back and says he's fighting, this is the champ. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, if he says I'm vacating it and says I'm going to go on a hiatus again, and then Jon pops up again 2 years later and says I want to fight, and then if he wins, which it would be very hard to take that much time off and come back and beat a guy like Tom, they're going to look at Tom and say he was the paper champ. And
at least he had a 2-year reign.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I see it from that standpoint too, but
sponsorships, like people just view you differently when you're the undisputed champion. I mean, you know this.
Yeah, but he's still the man.
He is the man. I'd love to see the fight, but if not, I'd love to see it move along. By the way, we talked about Jan. I saw you guys, speaking of, were you in Thailand with him? Where were you?
Yeah, we were coaching against each other. For
is this the same show?
Tough. Yeah, Alf Global.
The show that Jon was doing, is it the same one?
That's what he's doing now, yeah.
Wow, so who are these guys?
The fighters?
No. Like, what's this show that's getting all these big names to come over to...
Yeah, they did some other seasons before, and then they switched it over. I think we were...
Is this it right here?
Yeah. I think
was
Jan
Vulcan
and I were
too?
season 2. He came out there to train, to jumpstart his training camp for Diego Lopez, and then I didn't even know he was going to be out there. So I wish I came out there in better shape because we sparred, and I got tired after like one round. I was like, brother, this is not what I didn't come out here for this. I was like partying.
Here, were you and Jan really going after it here?
Nah, Jan just fights everybody in the house.
What is this? So you're on a soccer field?
Soccer field, yeah. He's trying to take me down.
Legit? Like what percentage is he going here? Is he going 50?
Maybe 50, 60. But as you can see,
he tried to hit you with a spinning back fist.
Yeah. He calf kicked me like every day that I saw him. I was like,
brother, were you cool?
Were we cool?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
Like, was there tension?
He told me I still owe him 10%. He said, brother, I changed your life.
Yeah. He gave you an Oscar.
Maybe I owe you a cut. Maybe I do.
So, but like there was no tension, right?
Nah. But they did try to get us to fight.
Whoa.
3 2-minute rounds with the MMA gloves. And I was like, I got to talk to my manager. I was like, one, that just sounds ridiculous. I was like, can I wrestle? And they said, no, just boxing.
Nah.
This is the president, the guy who would be like the Dana White, Alfredo. Yeah. And I'm just talking to him. I'm like, you want to see me get my ass kicked, don't you? Because there's no reason why you want me to just go straight up just boxing with these small gloves. Like boxing gloves, I'd be like, okay, it'd be like a spar. 3 2-minute rounds, okay, that's fine. But for me to go out there and just straight up with MMA gloves, I'm like, nah, dude, I'm good.
Would you be allowed to do that?
That's why I told him, I was like, I got to ask. So I deferred to that to kind of get out of it.
Smart.
I was like, I really don't want to do that.
Do you have to ask for permission to do the show from the UFC?
No, I just went.
You just do it, yeah. It's nice.
I don't think it's like a...
I heard they pay really well.
I got paid pretty decent for short notice.
Yeah.
And I would imagine Diaz going out there. I forgot about the Dagestan beef. I know they got into a little bit of altercation out there. And I would imagine they paid Yoel, Jorge, and Jones a pretty penny.
Yeah. And like, is it tough-esque? Are you even able to like...
But they can fight in the house. So it's way more drama. Guys are like pulling legit knives fighting? And shit.
Oh, Jesus.
Pocket knives out the fanny pack.
Yo.
Guys falling on the floor. They're trying to stab them. I'm like, yo, this is unhinged. Guys kicking each other in a street fight. In the balls. Hell? The whole season is out right now. I think they're up to episode 8 on YouTube. Yeah.
And are you able to interact with these guys? Do they all speak English?
We use a lot of translators.
Okay.
That's the one thing I told him is like, you guys got to do a better job of getting like the translation devices so that we can actually have a full conversation. Because it just takes so long. You say something and I'm like hearing you talk, then they type it or they explain it to me. They're talking really slow. And then the conversation gets in an awkward position because there's so much like quiet air.
Yeah.
We could probably have done this a little bit.
So it was friendly. It was nice to see you guys hanging out like that.
Yeah, like I said, even like with Sean, like I don't have any animosity towards any of these guys that I've fought. At the end of the day, we're all chasing the same dream, the same goal, trying to make money. I met his son. We're at the soccer field. We were playing around a little bit. I was like wrestling around with him, playing soccer with him a little bit.
Here you guys are. I mean, it's like all day you guys are kicking each other.
All day.
It's crazy.
And they were asking like, when are you guys gonna fight again? And I was like, hey, if we want to do a trilogy, he's got to come up to 45. I was like, I ain't going back down to 35. Get me when I'm powerful.
So what is going on with you? Because I saw you tweet a couple of weeks ago, like, hey, I'm ready to go, essentially, right? So what's happening?
I saw Hunter after the fights, and I told him, like, hey, like, what's happening right now? Like, I've been asking for a while. But he's like, he knows I had my bachelor party coming up and some other stuff with the wedding. I was like, yeah, but
they're being mindful of your schedule all of a sudden.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's cool and all, but I've been waiting and asking since the very beginning, even for the June card. I was like, that would be dope for me and Merab to get on the same card.
Yeah, Newark.
That would have been sick. But it didn't happen. And Hunter said he's like, I got you. Just send me the dates of when it's inconvenient and when it'd be practical. I'm in great shape right now. I don't want to lose it by like just hanging out, working the whole time and doing some other stuff. So I'm in shape. I want to take advantage of this. I'm about to be 36.
Yeah.
I want to get in as many fights in as I can before, the final swan song.
Has the ship sailed for a pre-wedding fight, or is there still?
I think there's still time.
Well, like when would you want to cut it off? Okay, August.
August would be good. September would be good.
Okay.
But see, because it's June, for me to have to dial it back and not peak too early and wait all the way to September, that's just such a long time. So I'm kind of like, I would rather do something sooner rather than later.
Who do you want?
In an ideal world, in terms of name value that makes sense, that people are going to give a shit about the fight, Brian Ortega. Former title challenger a couple times.
Is he sticking around at 45?
And he's the homie, man. He's cool,
but I thought he's going to move up.
I heard the same thing, but then I also heard that that was just rumors.
Okay.
I know he's the same thing. Like, he was in bad headspaces with certain fights. And I think we've seen that with him where he's had some really bad performances and then he'll come back after taking some time off and then Brian comes back and looks like a freaking world beater. When he fought Korean Zombie and he came back and pieced him up, I'm like, that was not the Brian that fought these other guys that we were just watching, So I know it's not an easy fight, but it's just one of those things where you want to be in there and you got to have the right headspace. So I think that's what it is for him, just taking some time off, healing up some injuries. The next big name would be Arnold Allen.
I like that one.
That's a hard fight for me.
Yeah, why?
Southpaw. Mozart had a hard time holding him down. And he's just a dog, man. When he knows he's losing, he just goes forward and just starts swinging.
Yeah.
The Max Holloway fight where he just went for broke. What was the other one that he went crazy like that too? I forget. It wasn't a Cater fight. But there was another one where when he's down, he knows he's down, he just starts going. Maybe the Mozart fight. Maybe that was the one I'm thinking. But that's a really hard fight. It's not easy to take down. Long southpaw. Yeah.
Dan Hooker.
Was it Dan? Yeah, Dan Hooker, maybe.
Yeah.
I think that was the one. Good memory.
Yeah, man. By the way, there's this young cat, sort of young, John Silva, who's making some noise.
Oh yeah, he's tough. I told his coach after he won against Bryce, I saw him in the back room. I said, just tell him not to call me out.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like they're going to try to make you versus John Silva.
Like,
why do I feel like they're going to...
Tell John not to call me out.
Guy's
like, I like this guy.
mofo.
I don't want to fight him right now.
Yes.
I can fight him. I just don't want to fight him right now. Like, I'm on a different trajectory right now. I want to do something different. He's on a different trajectory. He was like, you do your thing, I do my thing. And eventually we'll meet up. But for right now, it's like, I don't want those problems right now. I'm like, and I'm just being honest. That's a tough cat to fight right now.
He's amazing. What do you make of what's going on at the top there with Yair and Diego? Movsar to a degree. Yair and Diego have this thing at the press conference, and it seems like they want to fight, or it seems like the UFC wants to book them, and now there's the back and forth, and Yair is saying you should fight, to Diego, you should fight John Silva. What do you make of all of this?
I think Diego should fight Gene Silva or Yair.
I feel like Yair versus Diego is the fight.
I think so too.
What do you think of Yair saying I should
Or
be
I would
next?
love to fight Diego.
You would love to fight Diego.
I would love to fight.
Oh, I like that. You guys had a thing.
Yeah, it was a stupid thing, and I used to have so much. I don't have it. I mean, I don't not like the guy, but that just makes it easier.
Even his manager got involved too, right, Jason?
Yeah, and I thought it was really stupid, and I understand going to bat for your guy. I'm like, but there was nothing I said that was distasteful or where you could be pissed off about, other than just the fact that I'm pointing out facts that the most deserving guy is getting overstepped the same way that happened to Merab got overstepped. Like when something's not right, I fucking call it out, right? If someone asks me, I'm not just gonna come out of nowhere and just say, well, that fight shouldn't have happened. But if you ask me and I give my opinion, like I'm just giving my opinion. Doesn't mean I don't like Diego. Doesn't mean I don't like Cheeto. It's just calling it out what it is. It is what it is. But if you get the opportunity, like I've told them both when they got pissed at me, I said, just be grateful you're getting this opportunity and make the most of it. Because at the end of the day, you get one shot to become the champ. Very few people get multiple chances at fighting for a world title. And if you don't cash out or look good in the attempt, good luck trying to get back to that belt. It's going to be very, very difficult, especially if the same champ that you lost to is there. And that was it. It somehow turned into...
It got personal.
Yeah, it's like me being bitter and jealous. And I'm just like, jealous of what? I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have way more money in my bank account than you. I'm pretty sure I'm way happier because I could travel the world and do all these things that a young kid from where I'm from couldn't do any of this before. I'm like, I think I'm pretty damn good in my skin right now. I'm just giving some advice. I'm just like, hey, be grateful for the opportunity and make the most of it. I think even with him being like disrespectful, him and his coach, manager, I thought I gave a pretty respectful response back. And I even told him, I was like, yo, like, because House is always in Vegas. I'm like, if you got something to say it to me in Vegas. Like, we could talk about it, have a one-on-one conversation. That's fine. And he's not my favorite manager anyway. To like, out of all the managers, I just feel like this is I'm not even gonna go down that hole. But if you have something to say, I'm more than happy to have a conversation. We could talk about. I seen him. We were in the locker room. Me, him, Diego, some other people. I looked at them. They looked at me. They didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. So all right, go by my day.
This is after the tweets.
Yeah. So I was just like, all right, it is what it is. I guess there's nothing more to be said. I'm like, you had a great title fight effort, and it is what it is. You came up short, and like I said, just make the most of the opportunity. So
he wants to fight on that no-check card. It seems like Yair might be banged up. That could be one for you, September. That would be September 13th.
With who?
Diego.
Well, I mean, if he's down for it, I'm down to fight him. So at this point, like I said, like I need shit to get off the pot.
Yeah.
And I think the Mozart fight was good enough where I don't think I fall back that many spots in that type of a loss. Where on a different day with a different set of judges, I probably win. Brian Battle beats Randy Brown. Respected Brian Battle, but I thought Randy Brown won that fight. Sirgan beats Alex Volkov. Respected Sirgan, and he knows too. He showed it in his interview. Volkov won that fight. So on the same night, all those 3 bad decisions happened. I'm like, maybe on another day I would have actually won, but I didn't. So I just don't think that type of loss warrants me going all the way into the back of the line. So
no, hell no.
And that's why
I'm hoping. Should be fighting for the belt next. Mofstar should be fighting for the belt next. No?
Yeah. I thought you said me. I was
no. Yeah, I mean, we got to get a couple.
Don't get me riled up.
Mofstar should be fighting for the belt next. 100%. It's crazy that this is. What do you think of Yair saying he should be fighting for the belt next?
Yair saying he should fight for the belt next?
Yeah, after his last one over Pitbull.
You know, every time I give my opinion, it comes back on me, and these guys get mad at me like I'm talking shit. I'm not talking shit, but respectfully, Yair should not be fighting. If he gets the opportunity, great. But based on merit, Yair should not be getting the opportunity next. I think he should have to win one more. And I think that's very, very reasonable and understandable. But if he gets it, great. He's a big name.
Yeah.
But we've seen that movie before. But I think at this point in Volk's career, maybe there's a chance that he could catch him, right? So,
you think Pico does well?
I mean, he's had some bumps and bruises up in Bellator.
Yeah.
Patchy Mix just came over from Bellator. A lot of guys think like because they're killing it in one organization, they come over and think it's going to be easy sailing, but it's not, man. I don't know what it is, because if you had told me like training with Patchy and everything,
tell me about this. What happened? I
would have thought that his performance would have been a lot better than that, especially after all the shit and big game he was talking.
That was shocking. That did not look like the same person, right?
Yeah, I was very perplexed watching this. I'm like, did I fool myself from my personal experiences and my personal relationship with him that I thought he was a lot better and listening to all the hype of all the things that he was saying? Or is it actually that maybe it was just an off night? I don't know. But Mario Bautista is also really good, and people kind of overlook that. And I was conflicted because I know how good Mario is. I know how good Patchy is. But at the same time, I'm like, well, he's a former champion, world champion. He just put to sleep Magomedov, but it was a close rematch. I did think Magomed won the rematch, but whatever. Patchy won, a very close fight. But that's how talented those guys are. And then he comes in, and Mario Bautista kind of schools him. So when you see that, it just makes you wonder, like, what is the difference? Why is it that when guys come over, they look so different than how you would remember them from their other organizations and their other previous fights? And I don't know. So now with Pico, it's the same thing. Like, he's very good, very dangerous. He fought one of my guys, James Gonzalez, one of my training partners from New York. And it was a competitive fight. And James is a very awkward guy, so I can understand that anyone fighting James Gonzalez has an awkward fight with him because that's just what he does. But then that fight, a few of the other ones, I'm like, he's good, but it still seems like everybody else. Like, there's one thing to talk somebody up and hype it up versus the performance. And that's all that matters. What does the performance actually look like on fight night? And when I look at those things, I'm like, I think he's going to do well. I don't know if he comes in and smokes Mozart like people think he's going to do. I'm like, based on what? What are we actually comparing? Just give me something to look at where I could go, based on these things, he's going to come in, he's going to smoke this weight class and give it a lot of new life. But it's a fun name, big name. A lot of people know who he is, so that's what makes it interesting. And I'm looking forward to his debut. I don't know if the Mozart fight is actually going to happen. I think it's a stupid fight for Mozart. High risk, very low reward. But he goes and extends his winning streak again. I think he's undeniable.
I agree. It's a big risk. It's a big jump, especially for your debut for Pico. Let me ask you this, and we'll end on this. I remember when you came on the show many years ago, you had the hats. Cheers. Look at that.
We're down the hatch from
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
To Merab. You had the hats you were going to pick. You were going to announce, the whole thing about
yes.
Remember that?
Yes. Do you have a video of this?
No, I don't have the video. It sounded like I was setting
vintage,
it up.
Man.
That was a good time. I don't know if that could happen anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? You had multiple choices. You had UFC, you had Bellator, you had one championship.
Was it World Series of Fighting?
I think you had 4 hats, yeah. Which became, like, you're a free agent. You're that guy in, I think that was 2016.
Yeah.
You're that guy in 2025. What are you doing? What I talk about this a lot on the show. Like, I say MMA is in a recession, but not the UFC. The UFC's killing it. They're tripping over money. They're about to score a multi-billion-dollar TV deal coming up in 2026. Fighters are going to get 0% of that, no problem. I'll go on and on about this. I'm not trying to. I said that.
I won't jump into that one.
The point is, isn't it like fighters? You're with the young guys. You're seeing them come up. You're mentoring guys. You're training with guys. It bums me out that not because I'm rooting for competition. I like the fact when the fighters have options.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like a totally different time. 10 years later.
Yeah, it's almost like the NFL, NBA, like you have options to go to different teams.
Yes, you have 32.
Yeah.
Or 31 if you're on one team. Isn't it disappointing what's happened, especially here in North America?
Yeah, I mean, see, I have 2 opinions on this. It's nice to have everybody under one umbrella for one reason, because you get to see the best fight the best.
Sure.
Because there is a lack of cross-promotional fights.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't happen in our sport. Other, like boxing, they do
all
it
day.
all the time.
Yeah.
They don't do it here with the MMA, which is sad because Patchy could have still been the Bellator champion and come over and done a crossover fight a while ago if it was like cohesive like that. These guys had a friendly relationship. But because of that, not having it, you have everything under one umbrella. So it's always hard to see Ben Askren fighting all these guys. He's killing everybody, crushing them, making them look just like the easiest thing that he's ever, like just playing with them like a baby, right? And shout out to Ben Askren too.
Yeah. Hope he feels better.
Hope he has a speedy recovery. But with that said, it would have been nice to see him against the UFC competition years ago when he was in his prime before the hip surgery replacement that he needed and all these other injuries that came along the way. So you see him and he comes over, he doesn't do well. That's the only reason why it's nice to have them all under one umbrella. But the other side of it is, when you have other organizations, there's a better free market for guys to have a better opportunity to make more money and to actually test their value.
Yeah.
When it's only one, it's a natural way of life, right? Like you can't get a fair assessment on what you're actually worth if there's only one show in town, one big show in town. Like I can't go to LFA, Cage Fury, Fury Fighting.
They're regional promotions, and that's not a knock.
Shows.
That's not a knock. You need them, but like if you were a free agent right now, the same guy back in 2016, who are you talking to? I think that's why a lot of the fighters were excited about GFL.
Yes, that would have been great, but then that died.
PFL has not.
They cut their winnings in half.
Yes,
for the
and they're not signing guys anymore. Like a couple of years ago, they were signing Rory, Anthony Pettis, like those types of names. Not doing that anymore. I just am worried that you guys, you have no negotiation power. That's it. Yeah. And it's not because I want you to leave the UFC. It's just because you want to get the most because this window is so small, right? You get hurt. Who God knows what happens. So I just remember that. I remember that, like, man, I feel like that was the peak here where you had multiple options. And that was post Strikeforce. Strikeforce was not even around anymore. Elite XC wasn't around. But you had 3-4 options that were legit. One back in the day was signing Eddie Alvarez and Sage. You remember that? Like, those were real things. Now, like, who are you talking to?
Yeah, it's a little disappointing to see because, you just have one show in town. Obviously, for me, like I fight for the company.
Now you're good, but
it's been one of the best experiences of my life in terms of I've fought for other promotions, regional, of course, but the level of professionalism from picking you up at the airport, getting the flights taken care of.
It's a well-oiled machine, right?
It's a well-oiled machine. The media coverage, everything. It's very well taken care of in comparison. Even the staff, the blue shirts, man, they do such a great job. I know just about all of them.
Yeah.
I see them all the time when I go to the fights or when I'm fighting. It's always showing love to each other. They know me. I know them. They know my fiance. Like, it's actually crazy. It almost feels like a family with those guys.
Sure.
Obviously not with everybody.
They're like coworkers, right? Like they're like colleagues that you're in the trenches with.
Yes.
Shout out to Heidi Dean, by the way, who I heard just left.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I forgot about that. Fuck.
She was a staple.
Yeah, she kind of reminds me of like the Burt Watson.
100%. For the fans that don't know, when you guys would be on the scale, she would be like, stand straight, baby. 3, 2, 1 for the pose, right? She was the one. Yes. She's a legend.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But I go to the bigger organizations, the B or C league, and the setup and the professionalism isn't quite the same. Yeah. And it's kind of sad to see that, So that's it's literally like your goal and aspiration is to get to the UFC. There is no other. I just hope to get to this organization or that one because there's never been a close second in my personal opinion.
Sure. Well, you're doing fine. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you very much. Good luck with the Funk Harbor. I didn't even notice that you had that. Damn.
Shining, baby.
What are we talking about? How many carats here?
See if I tell you, man.
Yeah, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Look, I finished it.
You did good.
Impressed?
Impressed.
What if I take another one? I can't drive home if I take another one.
Nah, you'd be fine.
Nah, I'm already.
Do you feel good? It is a nice, right? You don't feel
nice.
like...
Yeah, I feel nice. Yeah. I could bring it. Can I bring it to the synagogue for the bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
So this is for my son, for my boy Aljo.
The 13-year-old?
13-year-old. No, we take a shot. That's like kind of a thing. You give him a little shot. Oh. By the way, shout out to my nephew Jared. You're his favorite fighter. Today's his 17th birthday.
Shout out Jared. Happy birthday, Jared.
He loves you.
Thank you for the support.
Yeah, he's a huge fan. I actually invited him to come, but he has school, so he couldn't make it. But yeah, I wanted to mention that. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it very much. Good luck. Hopefully you see you back before the wedding.
Yeah.
I didn't get to save the date yet for the wedding. Is that coming or?
I mean, I was sure. I thought you were gonna be too busy, but
it's not.
I got a couple fighters coming, so if you want to come do a little coverage.
Listen.
I invited Piotr Jan.
Come on.
Yeah.
He got to save the date and I didn't.
He said if he's in the States, he'll come. I was like,
where are we doing this, by the way?
Vegas.
Okay, Vegas. Not a destination. I thought maybe back home, Jamaica.
My mom, she needs her. Still doesn't have a green card. So we've been working on this for a while now. And obviously with the Trump thing and all that, so she's a little scared to fly. She thinks if she goes to the airport, they're gonna like handcuff her. I'm like,
oh no,
I don't think that's gonna happen. But
just tell her to wear a mask. I see you on Threads, blowing up there. Come on, stay away from the masks,
that was not to be controversial.
No, I saw it. I actually saw it when you just posted it, and then I saw it again a day later, and I was like, oh no, they've come for Aljo.
They got so mad. I was like, you guys think I'm being facetious, but it was literally like some cloth thing, like your shirt, and I'm just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? But whatever.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, I just left it. I just try to let it die, but then people keep commenting. I'm like, all right, we're almost 2 weeks later, and people are still commenting on the same
Shout out
shit.
to Threads. I see you on there, repping the Knicks.
Shout out to Threads.
Yeah.
Man, that was a heartbreaker.
That was tough. Anyway, you're the man, Aljo. Thank you so much. Check out Funk Harbor. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.